y'all, it's Customized Key, and it is time for part 3 of my study abroad experience. And as promised, it is a story time, and we're getting into some drama. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're not new to my channel, what's up? How you doing? Today we are talking about the drama that happened on my study abroad. So if you don't know, I went on a study abroad to London. I was there for 6 weeks, and I took 3 courses in the time that I was there. Now, my living arrangement while I was there, the university had set up for us to live in flats, which are the equivalent of apartments. And in these apartments, we had 3 roommates. A lot already. So thankfully, the person who I shared a room with, her name was Emily. She was so cool. She was so chill. And then in the other room, there were 2 other girls. I don't remember either of their names, but for the purposes of this video, we're gonna call them Jazz and Molly. So the issue that I had was with the girl Molly. Now Jazz was cool. Jazz was, she was down for the turn up. We kind of didn't really have house rules, but we kind of just established it like, hey, everybody gonna clean up after themselves, like it's common sense, right? No. So up until the time that the drama happened, everything was really cool. It was really chill in the house. We would make sure we had our music and everything turned down by like maybe 10 o'clock just so other people could sleep well. And that was pretty much it. Now, we didn't really have issues in the house until Molly just decided that she wanted to spread all of her stuff out in the bathroom. So the rest of us was looking like, alright, we just gonna work around it. Then she also decided that she just didn't want to clean up after herself. So she would leave dishes in the sink regularly, go out of town for the weekend, having left dishes in the sink. And it's just like when you share a space with people, the common living areas needs to be kept clean at all times. Just out of common courtesy and respect for those other people. What if those other people decide, I want to have a few classmates over today, but they come in the house and the house looks ridiculous because you didn't clean up after yourself? Like, you have to be considerate of other people when you're living with them. So that was the issue. And although Emily and Jazz never really said anything, I was bothered by it because I just feel like if the place that I go to clean myself is dirty, I am therefore dirty unless I clean it up. And having had roommates before, I didn't see the need in cleaning up behind other people who are fully capable of cleaning up behind themselves. So being really upset, this issue did create tension in the house. And so other people really were just like not saying anything. They kind of just worked around it. They would kind of like clean up after her. And I just got to a point where I was like, no, I'm not going to continue to clean up after someone who is fully capable. And Emily was gone, which was the girl who I shared a room with. She was gone. And the time difference between London and Chicago, I think, was about 7 hours. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it was like 7 hours. So if my mom didn't call me at a certain time, I wasn't able to talk to her until like 3 o'clock in the morning when it was like 7 at night here or something weird like that. 3 o'clock in the morning was generally the time that I would talk to her. But this particular day, I knew that she would be available to talk because she just told me the day before that she wasn't going to be back. I called my mom because I was just so fed up. I was so fed up and I just needed to vent. So I called my mom. I'm on the phone and this girl, Molly, she was in her room at the time when I had called my mom to kind of like blow off some steam. So I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm like, I'm just so irritated. I'm tired of cleaning up behind her. Like, everybody in this house, I see them clean up behind themselves except her. She just spreads her stuff out everywhere. It's so inconsiderate. Like, I was just really upset and I was just on the phone venting. Next thing I know, my door opened. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this better be Emily coming through the door. It better be Emily coming through this door. The door opens and it's Molly. And she opens my door and was like, you know what? I am so sick of your complaining. And in my She must not know you crazy. She must not know you crazy. Don't get up. Don't get up. Don't get up. Don't get up. So she just, I said, I looked at her and I said, I am on the phone with my mother. Get out. And she just thought that meant keep going. She's like, I'm just so tired of hearing you complain. And I said, get out before I have to get up. So she closes my door and she leaves. And after that, my mama was like, what happened? She just came in your room. And my mama was like, well, if she's still listening. So my mama just gets to going ham. And I was cracking up. That was that. So then, I didn't really think that much of it. She didn't really say anything else to me. But then I noticed that she wasn't really at the apartment as much. And she went and cleaned up all of her stuff. So I was like, oh, she cleaned up. Okay, cool. Maybe we can move on. Maybe she heard me, because everybody else in the house felt the exact same way. I was just the only one who said something about it. Fast forward. So she starts disappearing. We don't really see her that much. We don't really care because now our apartment is clean. And mind you, this was like a 1-level apartment. So it's like not that big. So everybody's happy. Everybody's like, whatever. So then I go to class one day and my professor, now this was not Dr. T, but the other professor who was there, I don't remember her name. We just don't call her Professor X. Professor X was there, and she asked me if I would have a conversation with her, before class started, because I always got to class like 30 minutes early, but I would give time to myself to walk around and just relax, enjoy the scenery, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I see her, it's maybe 15 minutes before class starts. And so she's like, yeah, I just kind of want to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? She's like, I kind of want to talk in private. Can we step into a room? So I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, fine. So she asked me, she says, do you own a knife? And I said, yes. Why would you ask me that? She was like, have you ever, used it on anybody? And I was like, no. Where are these questions coming from? She then goes on to say, well, Molly has come and talked to me and she said that you pulled a knife on her. I said, did she now? She said, yeah, that's kind of why I asked you, did you own a knife? And she was like, do you kind of show it? Do you I said, it's sitting in my room on my desk. Now, here's the backstory to that. So we had a few girls when we first got there come over and we were talking and they were in our room. So me and Emily's room, I would have music playing. I would always leave the door open. Emily was really chill. She liked music too. So we would just leave our doors open or whatever. And then when other people would come over because they would be there to see Jazz, they would come say, talk to us and whatever. Now, Jazz's dad is a surgeon. So when they all came in our room and was talking, Jazz looked at my desk and she saw that the knife was there. Now, when I traveled from Chicago to London, I took my knife with me. I take it with me everywhere. I didn't think that it was really that big a deal, but I guess for me it's not that big a deal because I'm used to having it on me in Chicago. Chicago's dangerous at the time, and it still is dangerous now. So I just was used to carrying stuff with me to protect myself. I would be going places that weren't necessarily the safest, and back when I was in high school, my freshman year in college, my first couple years of college, I still took that with me because I'm like, I'm going into an unknown area. I don't know what's going to happen. I need to be able to protect myself. And if somebody else thinks that they're going to choose their life and their safety over mine, they got another thing coming. So, again, when I had unpacked my luggage, I just sat it on the desk and I really wasn't thinking about it. So then when Jazz came over and everybody was talking, she saw the knife on my desk. And she was like, is this yours? I was like, yeah, why? And she was like, oh, I know how to use this. And I'm looking at her like, okay, you proud of that? She's like, no, my dad's a surgeon. So we literally started having a conversation about how to protect yourself and where to cut people for the most effective, cuts, or try to get away from people. So, her dad had told her, like, look, I do surgery on people. If you got to cut somebody, aim for this, aim for this, aim for this. So we kind of was laughing. It was crazy because it all made us look like we were just prepared to go stab people. It was crazy, but it was a conversation that we had. And knowing that conversation was getting, questionable, Molly came over and was like, what are y'all talking about? So then she was like, oh, Keela got a knife, and, you know, we was talking about this because my dad's a surgeon, and we were talking about where to cut people if you have to cut them to protect yourself. So that's where that came from. Now, after explaining all of that to my professor, I literally said, so what did she tell you? And she was like, well, she said that you all had a disagreement and that you pulled a knife out on her and that she felt unsafe, which is why she hasn't been in the apartment, and she dropped the class that you all had together because she didn't feel comfortable around you. And I'm just like, are you serious? I said, I never even got up from my bed. And when she came in my room, I said, I'm on the phone with my mother. Get out. She continued, and I told her to get out before I have to get up. That was it. And she closed my door and she left. The issue was that she didn't clean up behind herself. Everybody in the house was tired of cleaning up behind her, and I was the only one who said something to her. She heard me vent to my mom on the phone, and I told her to get out. I yelled at her, and that was it. Now, for those of you who are wondering, yes, she was wonderful. And yes, I did feel that she lied on me because of the things that I said while I was venting to my mom. And I also feel that she was intimidated by me for whatever reasons. I never did anything to intimidate any of my other roommates who were there, and none of them felt uncomfortable around me. Now, the thing is, fast forward some more. So I'm talking to my professor, and I'm like, I never even got up. I never touched that girl. I never pulled a knife on her. I never did any of that. Mind you, I'm like 5'4.5". And at the time, I was a good 197 pounds. Solid. Okay? And for those of you who have seen my pictures from study abroad from part 1 and part 2 of this video, you know that I wasn't anywhere near small. Now, this Molly girl, she's like, what, 5'3", 5'2", maybe 120 pounds at the absolute most. Like, she was really small. I literally told my professor, I said, I want you to take your professor hat off real quick. Look at me. Do I look like I need to pick up anything in order to hurt that girl? If I really wanted to cause some damage to her, I could literally run full speed into her and take her out. I don't have to go through all of that. I never touched her. I said, and if I did pull a knife on her, where's the police report? Where's the police report? If I pulled a knife on her, where's the proof? Was anybody else there to see it? I just started hitting her with a bunch of rhetorical questions that didn't make sense to me. If I really did pull a knife on this girl, why didn't you call the police? Where's the police report? Did you call anybody? If there were ever a time to call your professor during a study abroad, because our professors gave us their phone numbers, if there was ever a time for us to call them, it would be then. She didn't do any of that. So it's obvious that you're lying. Now, fast forward. I had been kind of getting, after that conversation, I just kind of blew it off. I didn't really pay attention to it or whatever. Now, Emily and Jazz, they kind of started acting standoffish towards me. And I didn't understand why. So one day Emily came home and I was like, Emily, can I talk to you for a second? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, did I do anything to like rub you the wrong way or to like offend you or anything like that? Because I kind of feel like you've been like standoffish. And she was like, yeah, well, I wanted to talk to you about that too, because you've been a good roommate to me and I don't really know. But she was like, she asked me, did you pull a knife out on Molly? And I was like, no, why? And she was like, because that's what she told all the other girls when we were at Chelsea's apartment. I said, no, I never even touched that girl. Now, shockingly, when Emily and I had this conversation, she looked at me and she was like, I just knew it was bullshit. And if y'all knew what Emily looked like, y'all would just be cracking up. Because she was like, I didn't think that you were that type of person. You've never like even touched her knife since you unpacked it or anything like that. Like, I didn't think that you were that type of person. But she was just telling everybody that you pulled a knife on her and that you cursed her out and all of these things. And I didn't think that they were true. But I was just kind of listening to everything everybody else was saying. And I was trying to understand where she was coming from. And then I ended up telling her, and then I told Jazz too. And then Emily went back to all the girls that Molly lied to and was like, that's some BS. Molly's lying. And I also asked Emily, I said, if I did all of that, where's the police report? Where's the police report? I said, if I had did that to anybody else, I'm pretty sure they would have called the police and made a police report. She never did any of that. So, you know, my other study abroad teacher, Dr. T, she didn't know anything about it. But that was my drama in London. You know, this Molly girl, she ended up failing the class because she didn't do none of her homework. She claimed she was so stressed out. But then it came out at the end that she lied. So you went to another country, you lied on someone. She never apologized. But she lied on me. She failed a class. She dropped the other class that she had. She claimed that she was so stressed. She was living with somebody else, sharing a twin bed with someone else unnecessarily because of whatever reason that she made up in her head. I never touched this girl. I even in the days when I did fight people, when I was physically combative, I would never fight people that were significantly smaller than me just because I didn't feel that that would be a fair fight. So I never even would have thought about touching this girl. I could have, and she would have failed. I could have KO'd this girl in one hit. But that was my drama in London during my study abroad. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please tune in with me for my next videos that I have coming from this College Finesse Prep series. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll share it with a friend. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Booyah!